For my first number, I'd like to cover a song made famous by champion Jack Dupree. It's called Junker's Blues. It's on page 21 of your hymnal, if you will. People call me a joker, 'cause I'm happy all the time. Unhappy, you're so happy all the time. People say I use a needle, some say I sniff cocaine, but I'm happy, yes I'm happy all the time. This next piece is dedicated to Kim Addonizio, who inspired the poet about whom the piece is about. Brian Turner, Avant La Lettre. The Penn Center USA 2006 Literary Award in Poetry has gone to Brian Turner, the soldier poet, whose book, Here Bullet, quote, provides an ardent, relevant picture of the war in Iraq. Just before Sergeant Turner deployed in November of 2003, he contributed a poem to Ziziba. The title of that poem was Kim Addonizio eats a strawberry and I become aroused at an after-reading party. This is on page 66. Dear Mr. President, we regret to inform you that your older daughter has been killed in action defending the dusty city of K, which few fellow Americans can even locate on the map. She had dismounted from her rusty pickup and was aiming an RPG at a Taliban drone when she stepped on a weapon of mass destruction. Her body was so incinerated that there was nothing left worth putting into a body bag. Please accept instead this folded up U.S. flag. We hope that this war, which we elected you to withdraw from, is ended before your younger daughter is deployed. If necessary, to end the slaughter, we urge you to conquer the entire Muslim world. And please accept our belated congratulations on winning the Nobel Peace Prize. And now a little something from page 68. Curtains. At first, death seemed unfair, stealing my loved ones. Then there was a stretch of immortality. Then the epidemic. Then, believe it or not, more immortality. In my old age, death has become less standoffish. Its henchman, cancer, surrounds me. My college roommate fell last year. My friend Bob from 5th grade is battling. So is Joe from prep school. And a classmate of my brother's I hadn't seen in 40 years, but looked up in New York City because I had run across him on Facebook. My BFF and her husband. My chess friend, a long ago girlfriend in LA, and 2 women who live on our block. I don't know exactly how this script plays out, but I have an idea. There will be some twists, some messy business, then the curtain falls. Now I'd like to read you a part of my first published short story that occurred in Blink and Sparkle, or Sparkle and Blink.
Sparkle and Blink.
Sparkle and Blink?
Sparkle and Blink.
Thank you. Christmas Eve, northeast North Dakota. The Red River runs north toward the Arctic. Blizzard Alvin is moving up from the south. A whiteout with zero visibility is on its way. Don, a bookish senior citizen from San Francisco, is safe and sound and cozy in his motel, which is grandly named the Cavalier Inn, because after all, it is in Cavalier, North Dakota. 8 miles away, his wife, Marianne, is cozy in her parents' home in Hamilton, North Dakota, population 61. To fully enjoy this Christmas visit, since the house is so small and Don needs his space, he spends the night at the grandly named Cavalier Inn. In the middle of the night, he flicks on a PBS documentary on contemporary conquests of Everest. Some guy who's had a knee replacement struggles toward the summit with his own personal guide to help wrench the faux knee back into position whenever it pops out. Our hero's investment, paying for the guide himself, must have run close to $200K. Don roots for him to fall into a crevasse. Don's own passion for mountain climbing began at summer camp. His counselor reading a goodnight story, an alpine adventure novel. Don never knew what the plot was beyond climbing the Jungfrau, or maybe it was the Matterhorn, because he always fell asleep after a page or two. But crampons and ice axes, pitons and carabiners, roped up, slogging skyward, danced in his dreams. By the standards of the old days, Everest has become an obscenity, a pig pen, an exquisite symbol of money despoiling the sacred. That afternoon and evening and night, it snowed. He read in his motel room and watched TV. By the morning after Christmas, the snowplows have cleared the downtown streets. Eventually this stuff will be hauled away, but for the moment it is parked up on the sidewalk along 2nd Street. The plows have pushed like tectonic plates until the warehoused snow rises to a crenellated ridge. The result is a man-made wonder. The east face has disappeared because the gap beyond, otherwise known as the sidewalk, has filled in with drift. Don surveys this savage landscape on the way to breakfast at Thompson's Cafe. He thinks it might be fun to attempt an ascent. He also thinks it might be a bit silly, a grown man, and an old one at that, mountain climbing in downtown Cavalier, North Dakota. After 2 eggs over easy, hash brown steak, biscuits, and hot chocolate, he heads for base camp. There is no one else walking around downtown. It isn't particularly cold, about 5 degrees, but it's cold enough. The Cavalier Sierra gleams in the pewter sun, clean, purposeful, sheer. Shortly after they were married, they'd driven around the state visiting Marianne's old friends. They'd gotten as far west as Mandan, where Lewis and Clark had wintered in 1804, where Custer had set up housekeeping on a bluff with a commanding view. On the way home, Marianne asked how he'd liked all the different parts of North Dakota. I enjoyed the trip, Don replied, but there seemed to be only 2 parts. The flat and the very, very flat. He kicks his left Atasky Ziggy after-ski boot with backside Velcro into the steep slope and pushes up. His footing holds. He advances another step and another. He punches his fingers into the snow, not so much to get a grip, but to remain engaged with the surface. Now that he's attacking the first and actually the only pitch, he begins to worry, what if he falls off? Such anxiety, he realizes, even if unwarranted, is useful. It helps maintain focus. What a glorious way to put up a route. Straight ahead, directissima. The next step holds, and the next, and the summit is within reach. But of course, there isn't any summit. There is just the edge that has been left by the snowplow's sharp blade. Don takes 2 more small steps and looks back down to assess what he has accomplished. It really wouldn't be fun to fall from such a height. He reaches up and tears off a patch of the crenellation. He sweeps the back of his hand to level off some more. He steps up a last step. Perhaps he could compress a platform that will allow him to stand on top and gain a comprehensive panorama of downtown Cavalier, North Dakota. He slides his right knee up as if to straddle the top and plunges over to the other side into the drift. It is the obverse of the fall he had feared. It isn't a precipitous drop. It is a head-first plummet, a jackknife dive, his arms extended to ease passage into the new medium. He sinks all the way in. He is completely submerged in the downy, billowy snow. The irony washes over him as the drift embraces him. He thrashes his feet and drives himself deeper. His head wedges tight. The snow begins to numb his face. He doesn't think anyone will hear him, but he screams, "Ah!"